Put whipping cream into your culturing container and just add milk kefir as a fermentation starter. Here's a video about how to make milk kefir, if I will successfully add it trying that for the first time. Either way, you will find a link in the video description. For the video I use 1 cup of whipping cream and then added a tablespoon, plus in a moment decision I added another teaspoon of milk kefir. That's about 4 teaspoons, but I would say that with 2 teaspoons per cup of whipping cream you'll be fine. Give it a quick stir, close the lid and store it away until the next day. After about 4 hours it was already yolked, and that state wouldn't change until usage. Here, maybe just a tiny bit more firm after the night. This now was after 19 hours of fermentation. You see the whey on the bottom. This must have mainly separated out of our starter, the milk kefir, because the cream itself is mainly fat, while the whey is part of the proteins in milk. Seeing such a separation of the whey tells you that the fermentation is pretty much complete. So at this point, or actually a little bit earlier, you can work with it or put it in the fridge. And work with it I did, because here comes the kicker. You can whip that up like your normal whipping cream. But first, let's make sure that you know the big whipping trick. To get faster and more reliable results with whipping cream, put a container into the freezer first. Rather not plastic if possible. Glass or metal work best because they transfer the cold really well to the cream. Plus you get some extra ease if you add the product which you're going to whip up to the freezer a couple minutes before you're actually going to whip it up. I whipped it until it formed hard peaks. This may also serve as another proof of hard peaks with this type of mixer at least. So now you know, you can even use cultured kefir cream in baking. Be cognizant of the fact though that compared to normal whipping cream, this will yield you less volume. The normal whipping cream will get you about 25% more volume. So if you decide to use more cultured kefir cream to adjust for volume, you should know that you will also end up having about 20% more calories. What did I actually naturalize in this video by making kefir cultured cream? Was it this whipping cream? Nope, because it's a good product. It has only one ingredient, which is cream of pasteurized milk. And yeah, I would prefer the cultured kefir cream because the fermentation creates certain advantages like better accessibility of nutrients. But of course, if you're baking and sweetness is a factor, you or the people you bake for may not want a little bit of a sour note that may be in the cultured cream, even if you neutralize the acidity a little bit with added natural sweetener. If I could get my hands on raw milk cream though, for baking, I wouldn't even go to the length of culturing it. It's so natural, it's exactly what you would have found in the kitchen of your great-great-great-grandma. And remember, this is not a health channel, this is a natural food channel. So for a good comparison, I also whipped up the normal cream. Same frozen container, same circumstances, as best as I could. And as mentioned before, it yielded a higher volume. Then I did the whole process with another product, which is the product that I naturalized for this video. And it didn't turn into whipped cream at all. It was this commercial cultured cream. And while the pasteurized milk cream and lactic cultures are fine, the milk solids on the label mean milk powder. And while this one your great-great-great-grandma might have known, because it was invented mid-19th century, it's not the most natural way to process milk. But the stabilizer on the label disturbs me more, because while there are quite natural stabilizers out there, this one might be not, otherwise they would tell you on the label which one it is. And almost certainly, the stabilizer is also the reason why you cannot whip that cultured cream. So you cannot use it as whipped cream But all the things you can use it for, you can also use cultured kefir cream for. Now a quick word about fermentation. Remember, when fermenting food, it's not that you follow a recipe to the letter. There's so many variables, like for example room temperature, and really you have to get to know your individual culture. If you are new to fermenting food, sure, follow a recipe, but be observant, learn from experience, and get to know your cultures. And after a while, you will know them really good, much like a pet. And like a cat, you may forget to feed them once, or come late to feed them. They won't be dead. They may be a little bit cranky. And like a dog, you may feed them a little bit less than the perfect amount. They can still go for the walk with you like every day. You might also feed them too much one day. They won't be fat dogs. So in general, they're adaptable and pretty forgiving. Now, before ending the video, please let me know in the comments below if you want me to naturalize any commercial food product or recipe. And now finally back to that bun-like cultured cream product we looked at. It's generally fermented milk cream. There are worse things that you can put into your body, but we can even get rid of stabilizers to naturalize our food.